All right. All went well this week. Pretty happy about that. Welcome, everybody, to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, a place for tattooers, apprentices, and collectors to unite under all things tattoo. We encourage you to join in these live stream events and real world events where we offer a new option with connecting with each other for the better. From developing your art to getting down to the technical with your skills, surrounded by like-minded peers, you can see us beaming out with events every day. From live tattooing to drawing groups to one-on-one classes. I want to thank everyone joining in from YouTube, Facebook, or Vimeo, and a special shout out to anyone listening via podcast. Our event schedule notifications can be found on the free Reinventing the Tattoo app on the Apple Store or Google Play, or directly online at community.reinventingthetattoo.com. All these episodes can be found on demand in the folders section, so feel free to check it out. Or if you are tattooing and have to miss a couple episodes of something, feel free to go right to the folder section. Everything is on demand there. If you can hear us, be sure to tag us and a friend who may benefit from this experience and knowledge as well as yourself. We here at Reinventing the Tattoo are beaming out to 5 channels 24/7. If you go to reinventing247.com, you can enter to win a free goodie bag that has some gifts from Raw, Cheyenne, and Dallas Pro. For those who don't know, we have several shows, including this one, Sunday at 1 p.m. with Jason Leeser. He just did an interview on Sunday with Ryan Dunn, and it was absolutely amazing, so everybody has to go check that out. Monday mornings at 9 a.m., we have this right now, the drawing group. Sunday, 9 p.m., I forgot to mention, is the Tattoo Weekly with Gabe, Lauren, and Jake Meeks of Fireside. That's the show where they pretty much just go over everything tattoo-wise over the past week. Really informative. I love that show. 9 p.m. Monday or tonight would be with Guy Aitchison's one-on-one class with the Subscribers Edition. You do have to have the Subscribers Edition of Reinventing the Tattoo to join in, but I encourage everybody to join in. I've seen my confidence level and artistic skill skyrocket ever since joining this Reinventing the Tattoo and doing his classes. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. with Ricardo Sturdivant. He does his drawing class where he likes to talk a lot about compositions and the way to see pleasing shapes. He does an excellent job, and he does a lot of oil paints, so you can tell the transition between the two, the way he talks about them to the way he applies them. Wednesdays at noon is the Tattoo Now show. Thursdays at 10 a.m. is the Thursday morning fundamentals class with myself as well. And Thursdays at noon, we have the Tattoo Collecting podcast with Fawn Baker and Jordan Lucas. I met Fawn over at Paradise BYOB. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. More content from Andre Malcolm to BJ Betts can be found at courses.reinventingthetattoo.com. And of course, we have to thank our sponsors here for making this free and giving us all this great opportunity to meet each other. We have worldtattooevents.com. So there's something on my screen. Updated tattoo events around the world, especially with COVID going on. A lot of cancellations, a lot of movings, a lot of seminars and stuff like that, moving around. So be sure to check that out to get your update, especially if you're a traveling artist. inkjetstencils.com, making stenciling easier with a mess-free print system, easier on yourself and your apprentice to get the job done. Of course, thank you to Raw Pigments, rawpigments.co, an acrylic-free vegan ink company that I've been using, and my shop has not stopped talking about it. My shop that I work at is a predominantly black and gray artist, and I like to do lots of color. So anytime they want to borrow one of my color pigments, I make sure they use a raw pigment, and they have nothing but positive things to say afterwards. Gabe Ripley from Tattoo Now, tattoonow.com. He's been having this website up for about 25 years. He's been doing an excellent job at it, keeping it all updated, and everybody needs to go check it out. I see a lot of great artists that are on there that have some websites affiliated with him, including Jeff Norton all the way out in California. Shout out to Jeff Norton, number one. And of course, GuyAitchison.com. You can find prints, paintings, machines, books of his, like the Biomech Encyclopedia, all on his website. And of course, thank you to our affiliates. Shout out to ecofriendlytattoosupplies.com. Shout out to Amy Nichols from Apprentice Diaries. And shout out to Jake Meeks from Fireside Tattoo. All right. We got real world events happening. Belgium in November. We got next May is Hell City. Next July is the River City Tattoo Invitational. Next October is Paradise Tattoo Gathering. And I do want to mention the Philly show that's happening in February as well, and the Explore Tattoo Conference that's happening right after that in February. So feel free to check all of that out. And, if you want to host a show like here, just go to management at reinventingthetattoo.com and host a show. It's actually pretty fun, honestly. All right. Good morning. For those of you, this is your first time here and you don't know how to join the Zoom, pretty much you can go in via Reinventing the Tattoo. There should be a little button right next to the events page area. It says artists zoom in. You can zoom right in and hang out. We also go through, I believe, in the comment section on the watch show page. There's going to be the link that's there. But feel free to hop on, hang out. We had Melissa last week, and this week it's just me right now. So, all right, so while we wait for everybody, Jason Lisa gave me a great idea to just pick a topic, if just to start out everything. And I always wait till last minute till I pick a topic, truthfully. But it's usually as soon as I wake up, I have like the topic immediately out of my head, like as if I dreamt it. So this topic this week is about the shadow life of the artist. And people are like, what is that? Well, I read this book series, and it's called The War of Art by Stephen Freshfield. And to me, it's my like personal Bible as the way that I live as the artist. He has 3 books. My breakfast. Hold on. There's 3 books out in that series. So it's The War of Art, and then, excuse my language, Nobody Wants to Read Your Shit, and then it's Turning Pro right after that. And they're 3 fairly small books. The audio books for these books are only about like 2 hours, 45 minutes. So very, very easy reads. They have like big text and like they list things sometimes. And so it's a very not a difficult read. But it pretty much, the first book talks about pretty much what resistance is, or the self-sabotage that you go through as an artist, be it like, instead of drawing, I'm going to party every single day, or, just distracting yourself from the actual reality of what you need to do, which is your work. You need to sit down and do your work every day. You need to, even if you have a day off like I do today, you still have to like wake up, get dressed, get ready, and sit down and do your work, because work does need to get done. And that's that's very important. And for myself, you go through a very fighting battle almost with yourself every single day, because you could just be like, no, just like lay in bed for like 5 more minutes, just 5 more minutes, it's fine. Or I'm not going to go to the gym today, we'll go tomorrow. Or, I'm not going to get this project done, I'll just do it next week. Those are very simple examples as to what resistance is and how it can stop you from doing what needs to get done, which is your work. So that's what the first book pretty much talks about, is how to understand the symptoms, as he calls it, the symptoms that happen with it, and understanding your path that needs to happen as an artist. I'm sorry, I live in Massachusetts, so it's getting to that season of dryness. So that's pretty much what that first book talks about. And then the second book, Nobody Wants to Read Your Shit, pretty much attacks your ego and separates the ego from its confidence, and understanding that you aren't doing your art for anybody else out there. You're doing your art strictly for yourself and what you want to do and what you want to get done. And that's that. And the last and final book, which is one that I've been honestly listening to an audiobook on repeat since I got to this new studio, it pretty much separates what the amateur does versus what a professional does. And it's a great understanding as to what needs to be separated in the two. And it kind of wraps everything all together. The professional understands that your brain and your mind and your mental health is going to attack you at certain times, and you need to understand when it's trying to distract you from your work. And also your ego, when you're being too egotistical too early on, saying that you're the best and you walk around with a high stride on a high horse, and you're like only a year in, you have decades left of your career. Not saying that the people that are in their decades do that, because they typically don't, but it's separating the personality of an amateur to a professional and making sure you stay consistent with that. So with that being said, they talk about the shadow life in the Turning Pro book. And that's one that I've actually been trying to execute these past couple months, because I did get into this brand new shop. It's a very busy shop. It's a college town shop. So lots of walk-ins. So 24/7 I'm working. I'm drawing, I'm tattooing, I'm prepping, I'm doing classes here. And then if I'm not doing that, I'm reading, I'm educating myself. It takes up a lot of time. And my boss and coworker had explained to me that if you jam your brain with this all the time, 24/7, even though I genuinely do love it, I don't think it's work, but you're going to burn yourself out consistently, and you're not going to progress as much as you think, because then you're going to get into that artist block. And what you may think is artist block because you've run your tank out is really just lack of inspiration, because you're not experiencing the world around you, which makes complete sense if explained in that manner. So in this book, Turning Pro by Stephen Freshfield, he talks about how the artist should live a shadow life. That shadow life including something that you enjoy doing, that if it doesn't work out, it's no big deal, like it's nothing, but you still put effort into it. Be it if you like cars, motorcycles, you like to knit, crochet, other form of art, try and have it be something like kind of outside of the realm of art. But because I thought painting was my shadow life, when really that's still art, it's still an application of a medium. You can do like kickboxing or anything like that, even though that's another form of art. It's a physical form of art. It's a whole different muscle movement set. Singing, you can do, the choir. You could pick a religion and study it fully. Anything that is going to intrigue you outside of that to then give you more inspiration, more motivation, and give you a set time a week, a few times a week, whenever you do it, to go do that other thing, whatever it is, and to get away from all that is art. Even though you love it, it's still important to get to that point. So that's what today's topic is going to be, I guess, is your shadow life and what to decide, how to decide it, what's going to be applicable for you. And I think the way to do that best is to explain my story, I guess. And if we don't have many people show up today, that's okay. Maybe we'll do another color study of another fruit, because I did one for my Thursday morning fundamentals class last week. We're starting to learn the color theory thing, and I did a color study of a mango. So while we're talking, why don't we do that, shall we? And I'll explain maybe shadow life stuff, and maybe somebody will leave today feeling a little inspired. So let's see here. Let me just join my iPad on here. And I hope everybody's having a good morning. Let me check admit myself here, and then let me check. See if I left any comments of any sort. Maybe everybody's confused too because of the time zone difference. Bum, 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 bum. Time zone difference, because now it's 9 a.m. for me. I was very, I'm not gonna lie, very shocked when I woke up on Sunday, and it was like an hour back, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, we do that. And I learned that some states don't do that. I was like, that's weird. All right, so we got this here. All right, so pretty much the shadow life here for myself is started out, I think, through apprenticeship wise, because as an apprentice for myself, because we can only speak about our own apprentice experiences. We can't talk about really anybody else's or a vast majority of them because everybody's just so different, which I think is one of the greatest things about this industry, truthfully, is that everybody's journey is different, which is another good book also, The Artist's Journey. I don't remember who that one's by. It's not Stephen Freshfield, I believe. Anyway, so during the apprentice life, I was obviously through the amateur life. I had pretty much all the time in the world just to focus myself on art. You know, I had my apprenticeship, I had my other full-time job to pay my bills, and I had to draw, I had to study whatever thing my mentor wanted me to study, and I had no social life in mind. And sorry, it's so hard for me to do two things at once. My apprenticeship lasted about 3 years. And pretty much when I got out of my apprenticeship, I was still just filling my schedule with nothing but art things, like studying, drawing, watching, engaging, doing nothing else but I just stay in my room or stay in whatever area is doing and bust out color. I tried colored pencils and graphite and painting and different mediums and different kinds of art and art history and fundamentals of things, classes, seminars, all you could name it. And I was particularly content with living my life like this, truthfully. And then I worked really, 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 really hard to pretty much get into the spot that I'm in. And it was a little bit of luck as well. But when I got into this new spot, I really learned how busy a tattoo artist could be. I thought what I was doing was busy, but when you're tattooing 7 days a week now, because I was able to leave my day job, when you're tattooing 7 days a week and you're drawing at nighttime, and then you wake up in the morning, you still have to take care of yourself, like feed yourself and go to the gym and stuff. It makes it difficult to do other things. So you really get, which is fine, that's what I've been training for this whole time. But what happens is that you already get into a consistent rhythm of a lifestyle. And here, say, I'm only 23 years old. So I was already content with that lifestyle of just doing that every single day. But as more experienced artists know, that if you continue to do that at that specific of a pace, only getting like 5 hours of sleep a night or something, just drawing, you're going to hit a burnout stage pretty crucially, and it's really going to impact you. And as many of you could probably mention what your burnout stage was like, it's horrible. You literally feel like you don't want to do anything. You feel like you're absolutely disassociated with life. It's horrible. It's a brand new experience, and I had never experienced it before, truthfully. It was soon after I got to the new shop that I was just absolutely done with everything. But I was just kept going on because that's just the lifestyle that I was living, and it needed to get done. And that's when my coworker / boss had the conversation with me about finding another activity to do. And it was like, so like outside of here, what do you do? And I was like, I draw. What do you mean? I thought this was, side note, I thought this was the exact answer that was needed. I was like, yeah, I draw all the time, like 24/7. I never stop. And it actually gave quite a weird expression. He was like, so like, you don't like, do you go outside? Do you have like friends? Do you go to like parties? Like, do you do sports? What do you do? And I was like, well, like I paint and stuff. I like Star Wars. That's about it. And he made it very, 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 very clear that he wanted me to find something to do, just a hobby of sort. And I at first was like, what are you talking about? I have the hobby, it's painting. It's slightly almost offended. And he was like, no, 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 that's still art. You're still studying tattooing, whether you like it or not. It's still happening. So I need you to take your brain outside of art realm and bring it somewhere else. And he was actually quite correct. And as soon as I started doing other things, and I actually picked like equine style and horse riding and stuff, and I actually really like martial arts too, so I should mention that. Um, that my mood became much better, believe it or not. I had a much better mood about me. There was way more inspiration. My gas tank of stamina and cardio off the charts. Like I've never had this much energy in my life. Like sometimes to get rid of energy throughout the day, I have to come home and just like shake it out because there's so much that I have. Um, because I have something 1 day a week or 2 days a week that I'm genuinely interested in and wanting to learn. And it's completely outside the realm of art. Yeah, it can still be related. I could name a million things that horse riding is related to tattooing. But the point is that it's something completely different that I can attract myself to then inspire me to do artwork down here in the realm of art. Um, so it's very important to live a shadow life. And it's explained by Stephen Freshfield in like a whole few chapters. He explains different versions of shadow lives, the mentality needed to increase your shadow life and how, the importance of it. Let's see if I can find a quote about it. I should have had a quote prepared, but you know, that's okay, right? Let's see. And you can find all of these books like Amazon. I believe a couple of his books you can listen to on audiobook on like YouTube for free. But if you have Audible, you can get obviously all of them. And if you're a Joe Rogan fan, he was on Joe Rogan a while ago. So let's see here. Yeah, our shadow life career. That's what he calls it. So it's been about, let's see, how long have I been there? June, July, August. 5 months. Wow, that's a long time, actually. I don't think it's been that long. About 5 months since I've worked at this shop, and I feel a very night and day situation with my everything, honestly. Everything that I've been doing has been severely changed just by doing something different with my life. And I was raised in my apprenticeship to revolve my entire existence around art. And now that I'm in it and I'm just being my natural self, I've actually heard more than not to pick something else to do. To fill up your time, Kire. Come on. Which I honestly, throughout my whole life, I thought that this is when everybody like, wow, you're really, getting a lot of stuff done. But it's mainly been like, holy shit, you need to like calm down a little bit. Which is like, oh, okay. I'll just calm down a little bit. All right, so I have my dragon fruit out. Let's do a color study. All right, so well, last week on my class on Thursday morning, we did a well dragon or not a mango color study, and today we're gonna be doing a dragon fruit. And we can talk more about this shadow life. Looking at the comments here. Good morning, Bruno. Oh, shout out to the horseman right now. I broke my phone, so I haven't been ignoring y'all. I just broke my phone. All right. So let's see here. Let's go back to this. Cool. So we got a little dragon fruit. I wanted to pick another like super colorful thingamajig here. And that other one went so well as far as demonstrating things. Also, as everybody's seen the new Procreate update, how you can like sculpt things in 3D, can somebody please, Jason, show me how to do that? I think that's so neat. And I've always wanted to try like a medium like that on digital. So if anybody, Jason, is listening right now, who's really good at technical stuff, then I'd like you to show me how to do that. But I think the reason why I bring the shadow life up is because I went there yesterday. It was like my first time being there in a few weeks, and it was definitely needed. There being the barn area, but it was a good getaway from the life that I was leading now, which is not a life that I hate. This is once again something that you are choosing that isn't going to, it's not a excuse to not do your work. So your shadow life can't be video games just because you're going to distract yourself the whole time and do just video games every single day. It's just like a once or twice a week set time that you will have for yourself to do whatever other activity that is not art related. And I'm telling you, life-changing. So anybody listening out there, feel free to take that advice and really start thinking about what you want to do. Or if you already have, let's say, your shadow life thing, you may not feel bad anymore about going off and not doing your art for a little bit, which also I have felt many times. When you go off and do something else, be it like, even if it's vacation, you feel bad that you're not working. I never thought I would be this way as a person, but here we are. Like, I always thought I would be like going off and doing things and experiencing life, but really if I'm away from my iPad, I'm shaking. And I get made fun of it for all the time at my shop, truthfully. Every time I'm like, guys, I went out to the bar. They're always like, oh my God. They're like, honestly, everybody stops tattooing and everything. They're like, we're amazed right now that you did that. Did you bring your iPad? Did you draw on napkins? We're very, very proud of you. So it's always one of those fun experiences. This microphone is seriously in my way. There we go. All right. I'm just going to keep using this Untitled brush. I think that's what I did with Mango. So, little color theory here, just because I'm seeing it. I see a very, like, let me just make sure I'm on the right layer, because that always happens. We all know that. Seeing a very, like, cool red, like vermilion here. But then there's, like, this warm red over here, which I think is interesting. And this nice shape right here. That's our Terminator line. Even though it's like super, light. It's actually where the light is hitting. You can see our Terminator line is here. And then our midtones, right? Because this is like an almost cylinder shape. So I'm going to have to make it like curve this way and then curve this way in order to get this right. So that's the execution plan here. Which honestly, fundamental side aside of everything, color theory with temperature, it wasn't until I learned the basic color theory movements that they make as far as relationship goes, and then how they coincide with value. That's all fundamental, yeah, great. But it wasn't until I learned color temperature that I was like, oh, I get it. This is all coming together now. They're all their own weapons. And I think that's actually pretty cool. So I like color so much. Because they all have their own things that they do. And I'm trying not to say things all the time. I keep saying things, and I should find other words that aren't things. It's too. Yeah, we'll just do this whole thing. It's kind of thinking about base tone, Kire. Come on. So I'll just make the whole base this deeper red-orange color. I'll just coat everything in it, because why not? Oh, watch, I'm on the wrong layer. Watch, this is the underpainting layer. God damn it. I will make it work, right? And I like, when I do color studies, and I love that this happened with the mango, I liked how in the beginning it just looked like a hot mess. And then it just slowly transitioned into whatever it was. I thought that was a good way to explain that I think every composition looks scary at one point. If your composition doesn't look scary at any point, then you're doing something wrong. Or you're Peter Hahn. And if you don't know Peter Hahn, look him up right now. He's a fantastic compositionalist. Which truthfully, those type of compositionalists that can just pick up and micron or something like that and just go and make a masterpiece, well, what we see and view as a masterpiece, it's just another level. It really is. So notice that I'm not using absolute white. This is still, if you can see here, it's probably like mid-range. So this is probably a mid-tone actually, if you really wanted to think about it that way. But from here, we can just pack more light stuff on top. Because for myself, I like going from dark to light. As far as painting wise, well, I can't really say that. Digital painting wise, actual painting on a canvas, I probably just scatter all over the place. I'm just everywhere. I probably work more in like the tattoo way, where it'd be like darks and then lights and then midtones. So that's kind of how I go. Okay. So we have that established now. I don't think I'm gonna worry about the greens until I'm ready to transition into that. So let's focus more on that deep, cool color we got going on. And that's almost, see, now that I put that red down, it's almost like a purple. But here's the color right here in my history. and definitely not purple. So isn't that kind of cool how colors transition like that? So let's actually put another layer down here actually. And I'm starting to map out these little grooves that are here. So this takes a second, right? It's like a puzzle almost. You're like trying to find the shapes that belong and fit into the one area here. We got a comment here from Tiffany Lopez. She says, I've recently lost my pen and I almost went through another burnout. I know I didn't really lose it. Yeah, isn't I once you approach a burnout stage, you feel like you're going insane, truthfully. When you're approaching that burnout, like it's like you're almost in denial about having a burnout, is when your brain's like, oh, we're gonna go into psychosis. That's what's gonna happen right now. It's, and you're like, wait, right now? And you're like, yep, right now. It's a little too saturated. Let's calm that down. So I completely understand you, truthfully. What? I always feel like I'm going crazy though, so don't take it by me. So now I'm kind of just starting to make a transitional border. And I'm treating this as if it was like a potato rather than a dragon fruit. Like just a weirdly shaped cylinder. Okay. And even though these values are just a little too high compared to the reference, I'm sure we'll fix that in a second. I just kind of want to get rid of this purple tone, even though it's a good undertone. It's a little distracting. Oh, and if anybody's wondering what brush I'm using, that's Colors Cure, not brush. It's just Untitled brush. I think it's just like a soft air brush. I don't know. I'm just placing values somewhere. I'm it's a total Ricardo Sturdivant moment because he only uses like one digital brush and it's a flat brush. Nothing else. All right, so I kind of have the colds established here. Now I'm just scumbling in some areas that I see. Kind of looks like a heart, doesn't it? Let's hope it doesn't stay like a heart, but it kind of does, right? This one is definitely a little bit more challenging than that mango we did, for sure. It's got a lot more grooves and textures and stuff like that, even though I don't think that belongs there. Focus on this side here. Come on. You ever do that? Do you ever talk to yourself when you're drawing or anything like that? And you're like, come on, focus, focus. You're like egging yourself on to keep going. Because I feel like I do that all the time. Oh, dragon fruit are weird. Have anybody ever had a dragon fruit? It takes a lot for me to try a new something, as we all know from my story. But I've never tried a dragon fruit. The seeds, I don't know if I'd like the seeds, truthfully. But I definitely want to hear from all of you if you have tried a dragon fruit before. And if you have, what does it taste like? It tastes good. Does it taste seedy? Does it taste like you're biting into a bunch of chia seeds? Ugh. not a bird. Right now this is technically still what I would call a underpainting. Because I'm really just establishing what values should belong. So I'm not even looking at the little foldy green leaves that are there. I'm looking like all the way down to the bottom, all the way to the bottom. We're looking at that layer, nothing else. And we're slowly transitioning from our warms to our cools. So we got cool shadows, we got very warm lights. So we'll keep it in that. We'll even take the color that we used here, right? And transition that into our dragon fruit by being our lighter layer so that it has a proper relationship that belongs with each other. Because that's what matters in art and color theory, is that the relationships of your composition make sense. In a whole here, in a sense. It still kind of looks like a heart. We'll fix that soon. Let's see here. Let's get that going. All right, we actually have somebody in here with us. Hi, Matt.
Hey, how are you?
We're doing good. How you doing? What you working on?
Good. I'm getting ready to start a drawing for tomorrow. I'm gonna be working on a Wendigo big thigh piece.
Big thigh piece. All right.
Start doing some thumbnails.
Is that how you start every larger design? You start off with like just some thumbnails and you kind of go from there?
It just depends on the style that I do. So a lot of the times I work in more realism, surrealism. But if I'm doing something more illustrative, I'll thumbnail and kind of get an idea. I might like to take the photo of the area that they're getting tattooed and kind of thumbnail over top of the photo, just kind of get an idea of how it's going to lay on their body.
Right. That's awesome. When are they coming in?
So her appointment's tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Honestly, I like doing it sometimes that way where it's just like the night before, just because it's like so fresh in your brain still when you go in there. You're like, I
Yes,
know exactly what's happening right now.
right. So generally I don't. Generally that is not how I work. This week's been a little bit crazy for me, so I'm behind and gonna spend the day working on this.
Yeah, I understand that.
I like to be overly prepared. So I usually I have all my artwork for the week ahead done before I even like so if I normally I would have today I would be working on next Tuesday's appointment, but I'm behind, so I
Oh,
catch up.
interesting. So you draw like a whole week out.
Yeah, it makes it just less stressful the week of when I'm tattooing. I like to be like, no, I've got that entire week's artwork done, and I don't have to stress about doing all of these drawings on top of tattooing as well. So I just kind of like I try to keep one. I do a tattoo, I prep a tattoo that day, so it makes it a little bit easier for me.
Interesting. So this is
Yeah.
one of those things where I really love artists too, because the styles of the way they live are so different amongst everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone in my studio does it completely different too. So it's really interesting. Like everyone's process. My wife will get up and draw the day before, or not the day before, the day of. Um, I've got one artist. He'll do. He likes to do everything the night before and is up until like 1, 2, 3 in the morning drawing. So, um, and then we got one artist that I press. He's similar to what I do, but not as strict to it.
Yeah, it seems nice to have at least a week out. That seems
Yeah,
like ideal, right?
right. Yeah, it's ideal, but it doesn't always happen. So
No, no, but I get it. I always try to like, because I think all tattooers have Sundays and Mondays off, but That's
Right.
when I try to get everything done for the whole week and then just to get started on like the thumbnails for my class. So I usually try to dedicate like one whole day of my day off to just do nothing but draw for upcoming clients.
Yeah. That's how I used to do everything, but I don't like, so if I do that, then I don't have time to do art for myself. So I like to oil paint. I still really like to do like spit shading and watercolor stuff too. So if I wait till Sunday and Monday to do all my artwork for the week, I don't have time for myself, and that makes it difficult. Then mental health goes
Oh,
in, and
yeah, that's interesting. Because that's been an issue that I've been dealing with or trying to find routine wise is I find that I don't have enough time to do like actual artwork that I like to do, and it's
yeah,
frustrating.
it
Even
makes
though
it.
like you're drawing all the time anyway, but you're not drawing what you want to draw. You're drawing what everybody else is paying you to draw, and there's a difference.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. I feel like I don't know. I have to create for myself, or then I lose inspiration all around, and things don't come out the same. And um,
Yeah, that's part of the whole journey as an artist is you
yeah,
find out what works for you in that way.
absolutely.
And that's fucking epic, man. So wait, I was talking about like shadow life stuff earlier. Do you have something in your life that you like to do that is completely outside the realm of tattooing?
Oh, absolutely. So I'm really big into yoga. That's what I was kind of late getting onto here because I was practicing yoga, I had to shower and stuff. So I'm really into that. I like to mountain bike. We're in Indiana, so it's starting to get cold. So I don't really want to be out in the cold too much. Um, but yeah, I really enjoy doing yoga, painting and stuff. But I kind of and bleeds into tattooing a little bit. But
I mean, technically everything that we do leads into tattooing if we really
yeah, it
wanted
does. Yeah,
to.
on yoga makes my back hurt from tattooing. So
Yeah. The tattooing is definitely a lifestyle, not a hobby in the sense at
yeah,
all.
sure.
So it's you try to pick things in the shadow life of things that are not related to tattooing, but then you get involved in it and you're like, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah, it all kind of goes in. Like I like to hike and stuff, but and even then when I'm hiking, I'm kind of looking for reference for because I'm kind of being in here and over the last 2 years have kind of really got interested in bio. So now when I'm outside, I'm looking at roots and dirt and mounds of rocks and studying the shadows and yeah, but having things outside of tattooing is really nice.
All right, I lost myself there. That was weird.
Yeah, right.
We've been having in my area, we've been having like really weird like power things that have been happening.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, it's been happening for like the past couple of weeks. Like even at the shop too, which is like a half hour away from here. It's still like sometimes the internet would just be weird, or like something would happen with the electrical systems. It's like what the heck?
Oh yeah. Our internet's been weird at the studio as well. And we've had printers going out and we had a thermal fax go out. No.
It's those solar flares.
Yeah, something's going on.
But to your point before, the the shadow life that I chose. So I do a lot of like horseback riding outside of here.
Cool.
And I do like that whole like different sports in that. And I was like, okay, this is like totally outside the realm of tattooing. It really is. And then the more I just started doing it, the more I was like, oh, I have like an amazing posture.
And I have tattooing.
I'm learning like the patience of a god as well. So
Right.
it's crazy ways on anything you choose, whether you like it or not, can be translated to everything else you do in life. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I don't know, is it something you struggle with where it almost bothers you sometimes that it's like always relates to tattooing. 'Cause I feel like sometimes that does it to me. I'm like, God, I just can't stop thinking about tattooing. But then I'm learning to just not fight it anymore. Like it just.
Yeah, I've started to just not fight it anymore. It's not like an annoyance or anything like that, but it's definitely a like, yeah, I definitely care about tattooing, and that's about it, huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that is basically what it's boiled down to me. It's like, okay, so this is it. This is
But
nothing else.
when I go out to like, if I ever go out to like a bar or something like that, and I'm like first year, I'm about to approach my second year on tattooing, and I'm still in that stage of, I guess this is a stage where when you go out to bars and people mention like somebody here's like tattoo art or something like that, and they like start telling you like 20 different tattoos that they're never gonna get. Like when really you're like, Debbie, I just want to like drink my Arnold Palmer and like not think about this. Like
Yeah, for sure. I when we go on vacation and stuff, I remember like being in my like first, second year. Anytime someone would ask me what I did, I would like make up a different job because I would.
you would make up jobs, really?
In progress.
Yeah, anytime we were on vacation, I would just like tell them like, I drive a forklift or.
Really? Oh my God, I've never
Yeah.
heard of a tattoo artist doing that.
Just because I didn't want to talk about, like, I didn't want to go out and like, I'm spending time with family, and no matter what, tattooing kind of turns into the topic of conversation once they know you tattoo. So
That's hilarious.
I don't
Yeah,
do it as much now, but I used
I mean,
to. Kind of fun, but
yeah, I got not gonna lie, I got pretty excited when they first initially started to like, oh my God, I'm so excited, I want this, and I'm like, yeah, right, hey, go get it. But then, and I told my coworker / boss about it, and he was like, it's gonna get old, trust me.
Yeah.
And he said it with like the most disdained voice. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, yeah, no, trust me, it's gonna get old. I was like, wow. Yeah. And I guess it's truly proof because you think of different names or different jobs that you do.
It kind of started a game, and it was kind of just fun to do, and then it works. So
That's hilarious. I honestly love that. Oh yeah, I work as a forklift driver.
Custodian.
And do people like be like engage with you on that topic? They're like, oh, really? You drive forklifts? That's cool, man. Where at?
Generally, no.
Oh, it just stops there. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
pretty much, yeah. I wish I'm glad because I don't have that kind of like foreshadow to kind of make up a whole elaborate story of who I drive a forklift for, or where I'm.
Well, you do now.
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, I just wanted to jump in. You were talking about your printer troubles, and
Yes.
no matter what you think about politics, the Bill Maher did a fucking amazing bit about supplying a little hammer with every printer, so that after you make 3 or 4 shitty copies of something, you can just smash it to pieces right there with the hammer.
Yeah, I was at that point last week.
Printers are horrifying.
Yep, I've had plenty of issues with them this week.
I do also, it is to the point of having a very public profile. It is an awesome idea to talk about different things. You could also just tell them that you're a commission, whatever it is that you might also want to do on your side for dough. That's what you do.
Right.
Well, I'm a commission painter sometimes, or whatever it might be. But it is also, not something to. It is also pretty amazing that as a tattooer, as a good tattooer who's personable and not an asshole, like you could roll into a place, be social, for a month and a half, and then all of a sudden, you've got a clientele. It's pretty, or at least the start of one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So.
Yeah, it's always the fun in the beginning, right? And then after a while, when you just like, I just tattooed for 10 hours, I've been booked out for the last 3 months. I just want to sit in the bar and stare at the wall and not care.
Oh, yeah.
And then somebody's like, hey man, how much for a sleeve?
Sure, you know what? I would always. I mean, not that I don't work. I don't tattoo, obviously, but I do work tremendous amounts. It's definitely not as physically taxing. But I'm usually right there being like, hey, you want to talk, I'll give everybody 3 to 5 minutes, ultimately it helps fund the next couple of nights out at the bar, right?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Absolutely. Yeah, it's quite interesting, which is why, once again, I think having a shadow life of some sort, doing something that you like doing outside of tattooing is important, because it's going to get tiring for anybody that revolves their life around one specific thing. It doesn't have to be just tattooing.
Yeah,
For sure.
I mean, different people roll differently too, right? But
Absolutely.
I think it's good to be able to at least pull inspiration from other things, because it helps. Like being active helps me, for sure. Be able to be clear-minded and seek different avenues of things. So,
well, different areas have different solutions to different problems that are often, if you're stuck in one world, you're not getting exposed to them.
right.
And, a lot of the biggest innovations are not necessarily things that are brand new. It's 2 or 3 things that are already existing together in, the new creative way.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, that was very philosophical of you for early in the morning.
I think that's just scientific, isn't it?
Yeah. Gabe's thoughts of the day. Okay.
Gabe, you're big on like walking and stuff, right? I feel like I remember that. At one
I do
point.
a shit ton of walking. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Usually
so.
about 6 to 10 miles a day.
Okay, yeah.
I could fit a lot of my work into walking.
Yeah, I think walking is a really good, like, almost like a meditation almost. I think it's really a good thing.
Actually, I'll probably just hit the road now while I'm here. But to your point, the yoga is necessary too. So I'm 47 and my fucking hips feel like they're eating themselves right now.
Mhm.
And I know what it is. It's a lack of exercising the back half of my fucking muscles, right?
Yeah,
And
mobility.
so I should be hitting that yoga or something. I know that when I was doing the Taekwondo, it helps, but to the longevity of tattooers' careers, it's like it should be required practically.
Yeah, I feel so much better. I was having super bad headaches, obviously back pain, and then all that was kind of just piling on. And it's been a solid year. Over the last 4 months, I've really dedicated way more to it, almost doing every day. Yesterday was the first day that I actually skipped in, like, I think 3 months. Just because we were doing another challenge, like 75 hard, which is a whole nother story. But yeah, I feel way better. I definitely recommend it. Tattooer recommended it to me, and I kind of underestimated how difficult it was and how beneficial it was as well. So.
Oh yeah, I always try to do like stretching before and after the gym when I go. And when I first started at whatever fitness journey that I'm on, just trying to touch my toes, I was like, wait, why can't I bend all the way down? Why can't I touch my toes without feeling like I'm gonna rip my kneecaps apart?
Yeah, I didn't realize how, like, immobile I was until I really started. I'm slowly starting to see, like, a lot of improvements, but it takes time.
Yeah, it definitely does take time, and you definitely feel it in certain muscles, like the almost like tear, almost like it's just like reaching its pinnacle point. You're like, wow, it's really tight and bound up in here. But I think it's important to mention because once again at my shop, a lot of senior artists, they've been doing it for like 20 years or so, and they say how different the younger generation of artists are, even artists in general, are compared to how it was back then, where everybody's taking care of themselves now. I was like, what? I was like, wait, so you're telling me tattooers didn't really take care of themselves back then? And then he just started laughing.
Oh yeah, that would be like a point of pride in how much you didn't have to take care of yourself sometimes, or how far you could push it to the extreme.
I've been up for 4 days. It's like, what? Drink some water, guy.
I mean,
Yeah,
inevitably, that's not a great long-term solution, though, and I can't imagine many of them. Well, again, it is what it is, I suppose. Eh?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I just thought I didn't know, because I thought with tattooing came like the yoga and the water drinking and the
Well,
healthy
yeah,
eating.
no, it's a whole new world. It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, we've had yoga at the tattoo gatherings. I don't know from the first one, but from the first couple, because to your point, there's enough tattooers that were into it that and see the benefits of it. Because you don't have to like be in constant pain or constantly malnourished or underslept. That's things that are easy to fall into. And when money's falling out of the sky, you have to be disciplined to say no. But on the other hand, you know, uh, repeated actions of any sort without variety or contrast are going to get your, whatever into that routine that's not, good. You're going to, overcompensate and miss out on shit.
Yeah, and that's important to keep yourself working, doing what you love to do for as long as possible. Because I mean, I had to see my mentor, like certain days where he was just like in so much pain from his back and his wrists. I was like, is this my life? Is this what's gonna happen?
Yeah, that
Could be.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead. You were saying.
No, I was saying that's what started for me, because I got tattooed, but I was starting to get my back done by an artist who been tattooing for about 20 years and was talking about my headaches. I'm on my 6th year. I just turned 27. He was like, yeah, if you keep going, like you've been going the last 5 years, you're not tattooing for another 5 more years, not how you are now. And that really like hit me hard. I was like, okay, I gotta start taking care of myself now, because
I mean, you're in control. Like, so if you want to tattoo 4 days a week, you can. You want to tattoo 2 3-hour sessions a day, you can. You want to tattoo 1 3-hour session, you can. Like, it's yeah, you're in control. That's often it gets out of control real quick, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting a good routine as soon as possible and then just sticking with it. That's the hard part, is sticking with a routine, for myself at least. I can make a routine all day long, but doing it, that's a whole different story. It's like how to stay consistent with a routine that's going to just benefit you, and is part of the resistance that you got to figure out, I guess. Which is once again why I love that. I thought that tattooers were just like another sense of like, I don't know, yoga and healthy eating. And
there's a wide variety of tattoos. Like, you can't just say tattooers. It's like,
yeah, you're right.
People.
You're right.
I mean, there are so many different types. And these days there are way more people that are interested. Well, maybe not way more. Way more in my world, that are interested and continue to be interested.
Yeah, because I think it's just because we're watching everybody else and that didn't take that road, just like hurting really bad. And it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. Let's take care of ourselves now. It's, I don't know, eat less cheese. Eat out less.
Yeah, the doctors will often put you in to check on that one.
Yeah, I know. Don't eat cheese, but honestly, like, could you ever stop eating cheese? It's so good.
I haven't heard that one. The doctors have told me to stop doing a fair amount of things, but maybe a little less cheese. But that was usually in the context of an overall diet kind of a change, as opposed to you eat too much cheese. But
I don't know, Gabe.
How much cheese do you eat?
Cheese. A good pallet of cheese.
I've never gone lightly on the cheese.
So when you're at like Olive Garden or something, and they have like the Parmesan right over your stuff, you just wheel the whole roll around it.
I'm not completely against.
Oh, we lost Gabe. Gabe was on his walk and we lost him. See, this is what's been happening.
Right.
I wonder if he noticed that he's gone or not yet.
Now he's just talking about cheese on his walk by himself.
And then there's like hikers walking by, just like, what is he talking about? That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, even for like any career that you do, like even with Gabe, like Gabe does a lot of technical stuff. He does a lot of business making, but yet his shadow life is like walking, right?
Yeah.
Which is just like, it has to be with everybody, because I feel that I only speaking for myself, what I've witnessed in my own life. Uh, the younger generation of artists really just are honed down on just working 24/7, and then when they're like, I have artist block, they wonder why.
Yeah,
And
I was the same way though. God, I wanted a tattoo nonstop. Like, you couldn't get me out of the studio.
yeah, do you ever have the feeling of like, okay, so you're tattooing, you're just doing a very tiny piece. Like I'm telling you, like the setup took longer than the tattoo. One of those. Okay. And then you're done with it, and all of a sudden you're like, but I didn't want to stop tattooing.
Right. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done it. Like, so I'm tattooing at least 6 hours, and I would love to do like an hour tattoo sometimes.
Oh, see, so different perspectives now, because when
Yeah.
I get done with those little tiny things, I'm like, but that's like somebody gave you a lollipop, let you lick it 3 times, and then just ripped it away from you. All right, you're done.
I feel like I deal with like it's like a mental fog, like mental fatigue almost for like sitting there all day sometimes. Some days are,
Oh
some
yeah,
days at all, but
that's tattoo brain. You can't even
yeah,
you can't even do
sure.
simple math when you have that.
Right.
Like somebody's like, hey, what do you want for dinner after you've done a session like that? And you're just like,
Food.
what's like just insert something in front of me and I will consume.
Right.
That's all that my brain can think about right now.
Yep. I feel that.
Which is so crazy how tattooing can be so taxing on the brain. Once you're sitting there hyper focused on a little line for hours.
Yeah, it can be rough. As I do, like I said, a lot of realism, surrealism. So just all this, I get really into texture and just staring at references back and forth for so long. So I think that can definitely be it can be straining on the eyes too. And I think that adds to my like mental exhaustion.
Oh, that could be part of the headaches too, for sure.
Yeah, which I definitely don't deal with the headaches as much now, but that was kind of something I used to use my iPad for my references, and I quit doing that. I just went back to
Oh,
printing.
really?
Yeah, I would kind of just keep my iPad plugged in and zoom in and out, and yeah, I don't do that anymore because I don't know if it had anything to do with my headaches. Now that they're going away, just because I've changed a lot of things in my life. I'm drinking more water. I'm doing yoga every day. Just overall being healthier. So
Yeah.
it's hard to choose what actually made the difference, but it's working. So I'm just gonna keep doing it all.
Yeah, and there's always like a specific point of like your muscles and stuff that you hone in on, because I think everybody has like a problem area. Like for me already is my shoulders, like in between the shoulder blade area, like and then the shoulder pads themselves. Like those have been like issues. So sometimes I'll have to like stop tattooing, just like, okay, we're gonna take 10 minutes and I'm just gonna stretch. Like that's all I'm gonna do. Because if
Yeah.
you keep yourself tensed up for hours and hours and hours, stretching before and after, just like you're working out, should be an essential thing. Like, okay, while this stencil dries, I'm gonna go over and I'm just gonna do some yoga real quick. I'm gonna get started.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a really good practice to do. It's no different than the unhealthy tattooer. I used to take a break to go outside and smoke a cigarette. So now I don't substitute that for I'm gonna actually take care of myself during this 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting to see the different lifestyles that people lead, because then you learn so much from that.
Yeah.
And in this past year of traveling, I have learned so much stuff than just like sitting home and learning. Not to say I didn't learn at home, I definitely do. But just hearing stories and other people's experiences helps you learn so much. It's insane.
Yeah, I learned probably, not even probably. I learned more traveling, going conventions and guest spots than I learned. And I hate not throwing shade at my mentor or anything, but learned more doing that than I learned during my apprenticeship. I learned so much every time I've ever traveled.
Yeah. And it could be like a sentence that you hear that's life changing to your
Yeah.
everything. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We have a couple of people here that have commented. Um, Caroline Evans. Hey, Caroline Evans. I know you from Paradise BYOB. Hello. She says the lack of pain is a good motivator to establish healthy routines. Good morning from New Jersey. It's Caroline on a new iPad. I'm not sure if I'm logged into YouTube. Yeah, you are. You're fine. And then Tiffany Lopez says, you want to ask the client, can I do something else? Yeah, pretty much. Or like that's when I'll pull out a 3 and just be like, I just gotta like touch up a couple spots. It's fine.
I think that comes down to just being transparent. Like whenever I start a tattoo, I tell them, yeah, I take breaks to get up and stretch, and I'd like you to do the same thing because it'll make this easier on you throughout the day.
Yeah, especially if you have like you're tattooing like a really tough spot. Like for chests and ribs, I'm short, so I can't sit. I have to stand. And when you're standing for quite some time, kind of bent over like that, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So that's what I've heard. That's when I've noticed like the most amount of pain as far as afterwards is whenever I stand for a tattoo, because I'm pretty much just like leaning over or leaning on them to pull whatever lines or do whatever I need to do. But yeah.
Struggle the most tattooing. I feel like anytime like on the upper part of the legs is harder for me.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's just like being like bent over more. I've tried to like change my chairs and stuff like that too to kind of make it more comfortable for me and their client. But
do you have the horse saddle chairs?
I have the Tatzel. I can't remember the exact name of it. It's not like one of the horse saddle ones though.
Have you tried the horse saddle chairs?
So I tried it a few years ago and didn't like it then. I mean, now that I'm trying to change things, I would be more open to trying it, and I might like it better now.
Yeah, my mentor used the horse saddle chair, so I bought one for myself, and life changing. Absolutely, yeah. I love that thing. I really do. Why did you not like it?
I honestly can't remember why I didn't like it, which is why I'm open to trying it again. I feel like there was just some kind of discomfort whenever I tried it coworkers, and I only used it for like one tattoo. So I probably didn't give it a fair chance, really.
Just a real quick, I want to make sure that while you're talking tips, have you talked about changing your eye focus intentionally?
No.
Interesting. Changing your eye focus.
Yeah. So like when you're sitting there zeroed in on specific spots of tattooing for long periods of time, you want to make sure that you like look up and unfocus your eyes a little bit, because otherwise your eyes end up getting strained from kind of the same thing. Then the other thing with chairs, a lot of tattooers find like surgeon chairs, they're actually getting to, there's more affordable versions of these chairs now. But the ones that have like a little rolly bar that goes around, so you could position it for your back to support your back, or you can support your elbows on it. Again, surgeons have to be very precise over patients for long periods of time. And then Kire, lastly, I'm going to get all this out of my brain, and then I'm going to pop back in the background. But you might check out Adrian Lee will often tattoo standing up, and he raises his client up. So he's got extenders on a massage chair so that you can be standing, and that's probably, the human being isn't designed to sit for, long periods of time. Even if you have stools and stuff that kind of overcompensate for it, kind of designed to be standing up. Anyways, you might check out, or people might check some of that out. Adrian Lee out in Analog Tattoo has extenders for massage tables and stuff to raise your clients up so you can tattoo standing up.
Yeah. That's a great tip. Thanks, Gabe.
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely focus my eyes elsewhere for sure.
That one comes from Baxter. I'm just repeating shit I hear. I never,
So my cat decided to join the show today. Charlie, do you want to say anything to everybody? He says, absolutely not. I'm just hanging out. That's what I'm doing.
I'm surprised my dog's not like trying to knock my hand off my iPad and everything right now.
Oh, let's talk about this. What kind of dogs you got?
We just have an English bulldog. I don't know. Honestly, I'm really surprised he's not in here right now.
Have a pet party because all the Zoom things now, all the pets are able to make their way and give attention.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I for standing wise, I can usually get away with Fresco.
This was Iggy.
Yeah. It's so funny how humanistic it is that people show their pets off. It's like, look at my pet. Isn't he so cute?
We bothered them. Look at those ears.
He looks so embarrassed.
He's like, let me go back to sleep.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. But yeah, that's for as far as longevity wise for yourself, it's definitely important to just take care of yourself, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
All you gotta do is take care of yourself.
Trying to find it. There we go. Trying to find a photo of our dog. Or
oh my god, do you have like 5 million pictures of your pet? I'm just gonna add right to this.
yeah, and going through so many. Yeah, he's a big baby.
The disdain on his face.
Yeah, he does not like his photo taken. Trying to see if I can find. Me and my wife actually did a portrait of our dog on her brother. It's really fun. Let's see if I can find that real quick.
So are you only going to be working on the 5-piece today?
Yeah. I mean, once I get that done, I'm gonna probably try to get caught up and work on something else for the week. I've got a couple prepped for the week, and that one's just gotten put off. But
Are you a dog person or a cat person?
so I really was never a big animal person in general. But I would say definitely now, definitely a dog person for sure.
No, don't bite that.
What about yourself? Cats?
I've been a cat family my whole life. I've never had a pet dog. So I don't have an opinion actually because it's very biased. I've only had cats. Cats are like easy. I feel like they're like easy 4-legged pets, like for first time pets. Because dogs, if you want to get a puppy, that's like raising a toddler, and then it just doesn't stop. Where cats, you kind of just like, you just let them do their thing, and they're like, yeah, I already know how to do this. You don't have to tell me. And then like, I mean, I like dogs in general. That's adorable. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, my wife did
like that.
The helmet, and I did the portrait. It was really fun.
That's so awesome. Is that on you?
No, that was actually on her brother, my wife's brother.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun that you guys got to do a collab.
Yeah, for sure. We've done a few. Our studio, we kind of try to push that a little bit.
Well,
So really
awesome.
It's like traveling and doing conventions and stuff like that. I learned so much doing collabs. So even artwork, like sending things back and forth.
Honestly, goals. So good for you.
I am. If you ever want to do a digital collab, I'm super down to do that.
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah, super fun.
All right, I will have to take you up on that offer. Absolutely.
Or do you use a Dropbox or anything?
Yes,
Cool.
I'm. If I didn't, then I will figure it out. And
Right. Cool. Yeah, we should definitely do that. It's super fun and seeing how they transform, and because you can do them in all different styles. So most of the ones I've done have been kind of bio, except me and my wife have done a lot of more illustrative stuff because that's kind of what she enjoys a little bit more. But I'm down to do anything though.
awesome. Well, let's start like closing off here. Let me screen share real quick and show my dragon fruit's not done yet. That's always like the first thing that I feel like artists say. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. Dragon fruit.
Yeah, cool.
I'm just messing with it. I did the leaves on a completely different layer. And
Okay, yeah.
just in case. But then after I did the leaves, I started doing everything else, and I was like, all right, I guess we'll just merge that down eventually. Which I don't know if this is just me, but I use layers as just like a guessing point. Like, let's see if this works out, and if it does, I just merge it down. Like, I don't really separate stuff unless it's like an actual like American traditional something where I can just flatten, like do one outline and then the layer underneath it color. Like that's a different scenario. But as far as painting goes, it's all on one layer. I guess.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I do like that. Sometimes I will, if I'm experimenting, once I start the color, I'm like, I don't know if this is the right color, so I'll kind of experiment with that on a different layer. But yeah, I like to do stuff in one layer. But I think it comes from oil painting.
Yeah. Do you want to show what you got going on there?
Yeah, so far it's just I'm kind of refining a little bit.
Nice. See, that's super fun. That's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah, kind of just still trying to figure things out. And I might not even end up going with this idea. I don't know yet. So
I have a shirt that looks very similar to that. Hold on 1 second. Or maybe you can look at it for reference. Hold. This is intermission real quick.
Have you seen the new Procreate update with the human models in it?
I didn't see human models.
You should. If you look up Lucas Luz, L-U-C-U-S, Lucas, I think, L-U-Z, Lucas Luz, he's in Poland right now. His last couple stories are all the new Procreate update, and he's just like putting all the shit right on the 3D models. It looks pretty sick. It seems like they've made it really simple to basically draw on a 3D human model.
I feel like every day I'm hearing more and more things about the new update. I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing either.
Yeah, it's the new update, I guess, is really, really, really cool.
What was that name again, Gabe?
Lucas Luz. Lucas Luz. Shit. I can get it in a second for real. Instagram. I have to ignore my limit though. I only have 15 minutes a day on Instagram, so that gets run out by fucking 4:30 in the morning. Okay, L-U-C Lucas.
I understand. I do the same thing on my phone.
Lucas Luz, L-U-Z. Lucas Luz. What the fuck?
Okay.
I'm on my wrong. Must be on my wrong account. Hold on, I'll get there. Did you find? I see, like he's from Poland. Originally from South America, but now he's in Poland.
I have not found it.
I should have done my homework first. L-U-C. Luz Wozen. L-U-Z-W-O-Z-E-N. Luz Wozen. Yeah, and this last couple reels, or first 3 reels. Pretty cool.
That's awesome. I know Crayola did that 3D sculpture of like that orca dinosaur thing, which is pretty cool on Procreate.
Yeah, that is awesome.
What is the name of that game? Just so people know.
It's Luz Wozen. You might do a screen share if you can, real quick.
I don't have a screen share, but I can definitely.
I got it here. Oh, perfect. There you go. Yeah.
Show off one of the videos.
Lucas.
Yeah, it's pretty
Wozen.
wild.
All right, I'm on my way. Lucas Wozen. Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm kind of blown away by it.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
What?
Yeah, he's been playing around with it for the last couple of days and showing it off. Okay. And then the other one to look up who's doing really cool stuff in this kind of space is Darwin Enriquez.
Oh yeah, his stuff's insane.
Kire, you know Darwin
Darwin. I got it
Enriquez.
right here.
Yeah.
Okay, let me screen share. And I'll...
Okay, I'm gonna drop in the background again.
Yeah, I will probably have to cut out here in a few minutes.
Yeah, after I show this, we'll do our sign off here, just to give everybody opportunity to see. Oh my, it's gonna be sideways though. There we go. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, he's constantly blowing my mind.
Pop out real quick. I want to show you the VR one real quick. So if you pop out, and then or go back to the Instagram page.
Got it.
There's one where he's in a VR like. So just hit his regular page. Yeah, the second one on the left. Second one from the top on the left.
Second one from the top on the left. This one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. See, this is nuts.
Yeah, I believe you're using ZBrush, but I'm not 100% sure because I've not used it.
He's definitely using some ZBrush, but I'm not sure what he's using in that VR area there.
I'm gonna have to get this. Somebody at my shop was talking about the ZBrush, and it seems really interesting. I really want to try it out. Art, man, there's so many avenues you can do. It's insane. That's really.
It's awesome though.
Is he virtual reality tattooing somebody?
He's doing the design. He's doing the design in VR.
That's nuts. And then, that's so gnarly. Well, shout out to Darwin Enriquez. Everybody go follow him. Look at ready?
Absolutely. His composition.
Right. Yeah, it's insane. All right, so that was a fun time. All right. Linda Belcher. So let's see here. Matt, you are still spotlighted there.
Yeah.
Real quick, right before you do that, I'll just send you a better pic of this shirt, but it pretty much is, see if I can spotlight myself here. Maybe, possibly. Sometimes there we go. This, I don't know how well you can see it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that.
So I'll send you a picture of that over the gram so you can get a nice reference for it. So artists are for a nice reference. But let's see here. If you want to let everybody know where they can find you, what your name is, and where you're from, that would be excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Matthew Jackson. I'm located in Columbus, Indiana. You can follow me on Instagram at Matt Jackson Tattoos.
All right.
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on today's Monday morning drawing group. My name is Kire Franklin. I am the host. We had a great time today learning about a whole bunch of stuff. I hope that you guys can take something home with yourselves. My name is Kire Franklin, like I said, and you can follow me on Instagram at Frankie Says Things or on Reinventing the Tattoo at Frankie Tattoos Things. Feel free to let me know if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. If you want to ask some questions, you want to talk a bit, it may take me a couple days to respond, but I will get to you, I promise. For those who are on the sneeze. Oh no, just kidding. Okay, for those of you that do my class, dang sneeze, come out. I am on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We are learning the color theory, and this week we're going to be learning about chroma, which is very, 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 very important. So feel free to check that out, 10 a.m. Eastern time, right here on the Reinventing the Tattoo YouTube channel, or on Reinventing the Tattoo to join in and draw along. With that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Matt, for joining us. Thank you, Gabe.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Horsemen. You guys are great.